Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Leader, we continue with the debate.
Good morning, Right Honorable Speaker, and good morning, the entire House. Indeed, we will continue with the debate. We will take one contributor, and then immediately thereafter, I will curtail debate to allow for the Minister of Finance to wind up debate. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. I see Mwanza Central. Mwanza Central, hold on first. The table clerk should read. But I see, is that a point of order? Your concern, Honorable? Lilongelikuni. Okay, what's going out of order?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Good morning. Last week, I stood on the point of order to let the House know that Mpingu Mawelo received fertilizer very late, and I believe that fertilizer had to come because my people did not buy fertilizer. This moment I resumed my seat, I received a message from Walangizanga that fertilizer is being taken away. The same moment I rushed, Mr. Speaker, sir, I went at Mawelo and I had to put my own rocks that they should not take fertilizer. But Mpingu, they managed to get the fertilizer. Fertilizer had to come at my constituency because those people did not buy fertilizer. So now...
Honorable Member, let me guide you. I understand your concern, and there's a procedure to bring that issue up. But what I would advise you is maybe talk to the Minister of Agriculture, write her a note. I'm sure she can give you time to sort out the issue in your constituency. Otherwise, there's a procedure. You can fill a form so that we take it up as my office. Thank you, Honorable. Yes, table clerks.
Government business, budget motion, continuation of general debate.
Yes, I had recognized Mwanza Central.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, sir, for recognizing people of Mwanza Central this morning to contribute on the budget statement presented in this House by the Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, sir, having carefully reviewed the budget documents, I wish to offer my observations and proposals that may assist government in strengthening our fiscal and economic direction. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 2026 economic report projects GDP growth at 3.4%. While our population is growing at approximately 2.7%. Mr. Speaker, this leaves a real capita income growth at less than 1% or less. Mr. Speaker, at this pace, it would take approximately 20 years to double the size of our GDP, which is too slow for a country like Malawi. Mr. Speaker, the budget statement shows that we'll have an expenditure of over 10 trillion, and the domestic revenue is slightly above 6 trillion, leaving a significant deficit to be financed through borrowing and grants. This is where I say we must pity the Honorable Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, it is very difficult to come up with a budget under the current economic environment. Mr. Speaker, I'll cite the issue of public debt. This is something that when we talk about our debt, some people misunderstand it. And they sometimes say people out there are not interested in the jargons that we use. But I want to put it in a very simple way that people out there can understand that public debt affects their daily lives. In 2020, Mr. Speaker, Malawi external debt stood at $2.6 billion. That was in 2020. And today it has risen to approximately $4.6 billion, an increase of about $2 billion in just 5 years. Mr. Speaker, as I speak now, domestic debt has increased to over 14.5 trillion. And this brings total debt at roughly 23 trillion. And that is about 90% of our GDP. If we are borrowing for development, I'm sure we would have been somewhere by now. Unfortunately, much of this amount went into consumption. And that is where I have a problem. That is where people of Mwanza Central have a problem. When we borrow for consumption, our country will remain poor forever. Mr. Speaker, sir, when debt becomes constrained on development, it becomes very difficult for Honorable Minister of Finance to come up with a budget that can make sense, because he has to balance between less borrowing, development, and running an economy. The budget indicates that interest payment alone, Mr. Speaker, is at 2.7 trillion, meaning a large portion of our revenue is going towards servicing debt rather than financing development. The Honorable Minister has rightly stated that government intends to reduce debt burden, and this House must support that direction. One step is to gradually reduce fiscal deficit, ideally towards 2.5% of the GDP, in line with the sound macroeconomic practice. Mr. Speaker, large deficits lead to excessive domestic borrowing, resulting in crowding out effect. When we say crowding out effect, we mean banks prefer lending to government, and the private sector is deprived the opportunity to borrow, thereby leaving even young people from my constituency, young entrepreneurs in Mwanza Central, without access to credit. They end up going to Caterpillar. When they borrow 100,000 kwacha, Mr. Speaker, at the end of the month, they pay back 200,000 kwacha, which is almost 100% interest. When they borrow from the bank, the same 100,000 kwacha, they will be paying 3,000 kwacha as interest. Thereby, it is the interest of Mwanza Central to help the Minister of Finance manage our economy with small deficits. Mr. Speaker, sir, the estimates of expenditure also show that many government expenditures require foreign exchange. Therefore, high deficits increase demand for foreign exchange and put pressure on our reserves. Studies by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank have shown that persistent deficits contribute to exchange rate instability and external imbalances. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also observed that the budget approach largely incremental, where ministries are given ceilings and allocate funds accordingly. In some cases, resources may be directed to less strategic areas simply to exhaust the allocations. Going forward, we must prioritize high-impact investments, projects with strong economic returns, job creation potential, and measurable contributions to the GDP growth. Mr. Speaker, on the revenue side, the increase from 4 trillion in 2025-2026 budget to over 6 trillion in 2026-2027 is ambitious and must be commended. While we must improve tax collection, we must avoid overburdening the citizens. The real solution is to grow the economy and expand the tax base through production. Hence my proposal to invest in production. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to also comment on the 5 billion Constituency Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, this is a game changer for this country, and we must commend the President for coming up with this initiative. This is commendable, and if properly utilized, it can, one, accelerate grassroots development, improve community infrastructure, support local economic activities, and bring development closer to the people. However, Mr. Speaker, there must be caution. Without strong oversight, the CDF risks, one, fragmentation of resources into small, low-impact projects, misallocation of or misuse of funds, projects that do not guarantee economic returns. It is therefore important that CDF resources are directed towards high-impact, income-generating and community-transforming projects, such as irrigation schemes, community markets, and productive infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, on sustainability, we must ensure that projects funded under CDF are maintained and managed properly. Communities are involved in ownership and accountability. Some investments are designed to generate income and recycle the funds, because we cannot always rely on central government to fund constituencies. Mr. Speaker, sir, if well managed, the CDF can become a powerful tool for inclusive development. But if mismanaged, it risks becoming a fiscal burden without long-term impact. Mr. Speaker, let me also address the issue of mining. While it presents an opportunity, many countries have suffered from the resource case, where resources lead to low growth, corruption, and foreign exploitation. Mr. Speaker, we must avoid a resource case driven by extractive exploitation. Malawi must ensure value addition locally, transparent mining contracts. People cannot be discussing our minerals when we are not involved. It is surprising, Mr. Speaker, to read in the papers that people are discussing about mining when our minister is here, and she was also surprised. That is not what we must be doing. There must be fair taxation, local participation, and jobs for our people. Otherwise, what appears to be a resource opportunity may become a resource rush that benefits just a few. Mr. Speaker, sir, another key issue is foreign exchange management. There is a strong perception that Forex in Malawi exists, but it is always allocated it is not always allocated transparently. I want us to look at it in this way, Mr. Speaker. In countries where there is foreign exchange shortage, shops are dry. But if you go in town today, almost each and every shop is full of imported goods. Where is the Forex coming from? That tells you that we have Forex in this country, but what we need is to manage how that Forex is being used. Most of the Forex is on the parallel market, and that is the question we must answer. Why is our Forex on the parallel market? And that's the headache that all of us in this house, it's not one individual's issue, Mr. Speaker. It's all of us here. Because all of us, if we come together, probably we can come up with a solution for this problem. But when people say there's foreign exchange shortage in Malawi, to me, I feel like it's a lie. Because our shops have commodities, and the shelves are full. Allow me now to turn to the matter of reforms. Mr. Speaker, we can do everything. The minister can come up with a good budget, but without reforms, without serious structural reforms, Mr. Speaker, this country cannot develop. We already have a roadmap through the reforms that were championed by the late Vice President, Dr. Saulos Chirima. It is time to revisit and implement these reforms fully to improve efficiency, accountability, and service delivery. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me align.
You've got 1 minute to go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to align this to the vision that the President has. If you remember, Mr. Speaker, when the President came into this House, he said he wants Malawi for all. And all of us here must support that vision. One key area to implement this vision is trade and business. We must separate politics from economy. Businesses must be allowed to operate freely. These businesses, Mr. Speaker, employ Malawians. They pay taxes, they grow our economy. Denying them opportunities on political grounds weakens the country. From the era of Hastings Kamzubanda, the late president, we had people who were doing business with government. The very same people transitioned when Dr. Bagiri Muluzi became president. They supplied government that time. The very same people transitioned when the other president came, the late Bingwa Mutharika. After Bingwa Mutharika, their children started doing business when Dr. Joyce Banda was president. After Dr. Joyce Banda, the very same people were doing business with the government of Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. When you ask which political party do they belong to, it looks like they don't belong to any political party. But they do business with each and every government that comes. But if it all Malawi, okuda toka, timakonda kudana. So the vision of the president, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is to build one Malawi. And that is key for all of us to support him to achieve that vision. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this in this House. As members of Parliament, we must pity the Minister of Finance. It is very difficult to come up with a budget that balances between development, less borrowing, because we cannot develop when interest alone is 2.7 trillion. Our deficit now is 2.6 trillion. All I can ask the minister, besides all these challenges, still find a way on how we can achieve reducing our fiscal deficit. Otherwise, I support this budget and we'll do whatever we can as UTM, we'll do whatever we can as people of Mwanza Central to support you to achieve the objectives that you have as Minister of Finance and the vision of Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mwanza Central. Yes, Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that debate on the budget be curtailed in order for the Minister of Finance to wind up. I beg to move.
Honourable members, we have a motion. The motion is that curtail on the budget debate on the budget be curtailed in order for the Minister of Finance to wind up debate. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Government business, item 3A, budget motion. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization to wind up debate.
Minister of Finance, sure.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand here today to respond to the issues raised by the honorable members on the 2026-2027 budget, which was presented to this House on 27 February 2026. Mr. Speaker, sir, from the onset, I would like to sincerely thank all the honorable members of Parliament for their dedication, commitment, and hard work during the past 2 weeks in their respective cluster committee meetings, where they were scrutinizing the budget estimates of various ministries, departments, and agencies in preparation for the deliberation of the same in plenary. In a special way, I would like to recognize the contribution of the party spokespersons on finance, which are highly valued. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me also appreciate the support and contributions from the development partners, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, the academia, faith-based organizations, the private sector, professional bodies, youth groups, and other interested groups and the general public. My ministry has taken note of the views, and some have been considered, and some will be considered as we implement the budget and also in the subsequent budgets. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Parliamentary Cluster Committee meetings provide a great opportunity for the honorable members to have an in-depth understanding of the contents of the budget. In their scrutiny, the honorable members may have noted some typographical.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.